up in Albuquerque, which is, I'm learning what the locals call Albuquerque. So Albuquerque.
Day number 2 at Little Bear because we loved it so much. But today, we have burritos.
Oh, you got a food already?
Tried to go to San Lorenzo Canyon, which was great. It's 4.5 miles off the highway, and it's all, you get off on an exit, then you double back like 4 miles, and then 4 miles into the desert. And about a mile in, we hit sand that was like 6 to 8 inches deep at first. You know, we trained in the sand the day before, and we're like, we got this, and we're going, and we're going. And then it's, you know, alternates, and just after a while, and so much front end wash, we're just not used to it. It was exhausting. It was the beginning of the day, so we made the executive decision to skip the canyon, go back through the fun sand, which was fine. I mean, we made it, and
we made it. No bikes were dropped.
No bikes were dropped. Got out. Back to the highway.
Thanks for the tips, Cassie.
Yeah, hit the highway again, and then resumed. Mega Highway 25 South, got off an exit 107. I don't know the name of the road, but straight out to the desert.
The Cibola National Forest?
Cibola National Forest is out there. So, I don't know, you're out there. There's nothing as far as you can see. That road then winds its way up through the mountains in the Cibola National Forest, through cattle ranches and just mountain passes, but super steep inclines and declines. So it starts out gravel road, then it turns into rocky, dusty rocky, not huge rocks, but fun. And then as we progressed, you know, it got, like, we come to an incline, like, oh, it's really rocky. Okay, well, we're kind of used to that. So we hit those pretty good. And then rocky decline, because you're going to go up and down. And I don't know what we started out, but we got up to 6,200 feet elevation. And the terrain just got more aggressive and more aggressive. They were definitely what BDR would consider expert sections. This is not part of BDR.
Or more. I think that Clay did some sections that I think most people would turn around and say are impassable. And we looked for some roads out.
There was no choice.
And there was no roads out. We were like, we have to do this. I mean, luckily Clay rode my bike through some of that stuff because it was so steep. And the drop-offs were down a cliff. I don't even think I got that on camera, but like...
It didn't show up for sure.
At least for me, I'd like tackle a section and be like, wow, I did it. And it was tough for me. And then like, I don't know, quarter mile, there'd be like, it would get even harder and even harder. And I'm like, I can do this. And I started doing things I didn't ever think I'd do in my entire life. I mean, crazy steep inclines with like huge loose baby head rocks and ruts. That's crazy.
Megan got tired. She kept riding it, but there was one uphill where she was riding it, and she should have stopped because it was really, really gnarly. And I mean gnarly. And she made it. She was ahead of me, so she made it to the top. When I got to that section, you know, a couple hundred yards behind her, I was blown away with how hard it was. It was gnarly. We got to the top, rested, and we're running low on water.
Oh,
you know, we each had 3 liters with us, and you know, we're halfway through this section.
Not even half.
Right?
Right?
And it's a big section. This is how big? 100 miles? 100 miles?
I mean, the section probably was only gonna be like
50 miles?
60 miles. Like it was.
60 miles.
It wasn't supposed to be a lot, really.
Yeah. It was aggressive.
But it was exhausting, and we finally did. We had to bail out early. We did find a road where we could get back to the highway, and we're like, I'd never been so happy to see a highway 6 mile sign.
So, yeah, it was 4 hours, 4.5 hours in the rocks. Which, I mean, it was fun. Looking back, it was fun. And while we were doing this, it was exhausting.
Here we are, somewhere in the Cibola National Forest. We took our own little diversion into this beautiful canyon. So here we are. Good.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good detour in the Cibola National Forest. Following a route Cassie gave us, but we couldn't help but come explore this beautiful canyon. So here we are.
Made it out. It was good. And the hot springs never felt so good.
We definitely earned our double hot spring soak, one at our lodge and one at Riverbend Hot Springs, which was super luxurious. So
I don't know if I'm allowed to say this, but when we get to Riverbed Hot Springs, we've got our bathing suits in tow. And the hostess is like, so you guys are all showered up and ready to go? And we're like, yup.
with dirt and dust on our face because we were running late. We almost didn't make it. Anyway, the best BDR rider in all the land. Cheers to
Cheers. This is some AV shit.
some beyond expert section.
Yeah, that was alright. I'm not gonna lie.
Post Hot Springs dinner
Pizza.
and mineral water.
Got the full lowdown on the mineral water and why they can't get Topo Chico here in New Mexico.
Tariffs.
Recharged and back on the bikes, we headed towards Section 4 of the New Mexico BDR, with plans to stop at Chloride Ghost Town before continuing west into Gila National Forest.
When we arrived in Chloride Ghost Town, We were lucky enough to be greeted by the kindest woman who ended up giving us a personal tour of the store and museum. As it turns out, she was the daughter of the family who began restoring the town back in 1977. She walked us through the history of Chloride, shared stories about the restoration process, and explained how many of the original buildings had been carefully brought back to life over the years. Before leaving, we picked up a few handmade items from local artisans, and she even invited us back someday to stay in one of the restored historic buildings. It ended up being so much more than just a quick stop along the route.
We got back onto Section 4 of the BDR, not wanting to risk timely travel through an expert section of Chloride Canyon, even though that kind woman told us that the road had been restored, because we still had a long journey ahead. Another 40 miles on the BDR, followed by 54 miles of the North Star Road towards Gila Hot Springs.
was that in our tent?
Some creep. Oh, these snakes got ADV'd though, a little bit. And I want to see your foot.
And there's our cozy campsite. And then it overlooks the river. Perfect way to end an almost 200-mile dirt road day. Did you have fun today, babe?
Yes, ma'am.
Dinner time by the river. We are starving and just had an amazing hot soak. Right, babe?
That's right.
I had a blast riding today.
Good.
We rode
Let's debrief with you.
after we stopped at the cool Chloride Canyon, or Chloride ghost town. We took Highway 59 to meet up with like an old road that ran through Gila National Forest.
And North Star Road or whatever.
Yeah. Come to find out, when we got to the end, it had a big sign about it being the North Star Road. And at first, it was just like manicured gravel road, pretty wide, kind of washboardy. And it goes on like that for like 10 or 15 miles. But then the real gold happens, and there's twisty roads that like have rocks and elevation changes. Really fun. I had a great day. So it was fun, like standing up through all the twisties and just getting a little more confidence. It was a blast. Did you have fun? That's a yes.
Yeah, I had a great time.
Yeah. Today was a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And scenic. I mean,
Super scenic.
every time we were like up high, you could just see for miles. I mean, you could see mountains and beautiful prairies, and we even saw plenty of wildlife. We saw javelina, we saw mule deer, right? Or what seemed to be mule deer, huge ears, horses, cattle. It was a blast. It was so much fun today. But
Saw a donkey.
that was the saddest thing ever.
This is a dead donkey on the side of the road in a town. Like, I know it's a town of like 200 people maybe. There's just donkey legs out the side of the road.
It was so sad. But it did take some time. So we got here. We were hoping to have time to see the Gila cliff dwellings, but no luck. We got here too late, so we just set up camp, had a really nice, relaxing dip in the hot spring that's right next to our campsite, and now had this cozy meal.
Babe.
You okay?
Yeah. Boiling water.
Do you need more water?
No. Is this recording?
Yes.
Perfect.
This gets an A+. Blueberry Peach Crisp by Backpacker's Pantry. Amazing. And it even has some protein in it for veggies like me. Good way to get my protein at the end of the day. And not a lot of added sugar, which is the best. Not by choice.
Thanks, babe.
Babe, what's for breakfast?
Eggs and beans.
Nice. I like your camp setup.
Thanks, babe.
And the master camp chef. Day 6 started with a quick camp breakfast and saying goodbye to our incredible camp host, Augie. Then it was time to hit the road for a 210-mile ride toward White Sands National Park, with the goal of ending the day in Cloudcroft, so we could reconnect with the BDR the following morning. Look at this beautiful church. There's so many gorgeous churches here in the Southwest.
Where are we?
Hillsborough, New Mexico. I think this is called Our Lady of Guadalupe.
Along the way, we made a quick stop in the tiny town of Hillsborough
Bumbleberry pie.
and managed to make it into the general store just before closing for lunch.
But finally arriving at White Sands National Park as the sun started dropping lower in the sky was absolutely breathtaking. The white gypsum sand dunes seemed to glow in the low light and somehow felt more like snow than sand. And once again, diverting from the BDR route felt completely worth it.
After spending a little time playing in the dunes, we packed it up and headed towards Cloudcroft. and once again, we arrived just before the restaurant closed. Fortunately, getting food turned out to be a bit more of a challenge than we expected. But thankfully, the front desk staff more than made up for it with their hospitality.
And despite the dinner struggle, the historic Lodge Resort was beautiful, cozy, and full of history. Over the years, it's hosted guests like Judy Garland, Clark Gable, Conrad Hilton, and even Pancho Villa.
We started day 7 at the coziest cafe in Cloudcroft, Black Bear Coffee. Megan ordered the cowboy latte with homemade pistachio, vanilla, and oak barrel syrups. And I kept it simple with my usual traditional latte, extra shot.
From there, we jumped onto Section 2 of the New Mexico BDR through Lincoln National Forest. It was an absolutely beautiful ride, but definitely not an easy one. Loose gravel through the valleys, deep ruts carved into muddy sections, and terrain that constantly kept us on our toes. Clay, tell everyone what happens when you start looking at purple flowers.
Oh gosh. So not only were there purple flowers, but there were dried ruts in the trail, and my front tire got grabbed by one of the ruts and I wasn't paying attention and crashed. Probably 20 miles an hour, 25.
Yeah, it was
Easy crash-ish. Head into the rock, helmet was fine, everything's fine, but our Insta360 broke right off my, whatever it's called, the invisible selfie stick, like the carbon fiber pole. Never to see the light of day again. That guy died.
just finished section 2 of the New Mexico BDR.
Yep.
So on this trip, we rode the New Mexican BDR section 4. And rather than section 3, we took a diversion to Gila National Forest.
Yeah, National Forest and Gila Wilderness yesterday.
And,
that was amazing.
And then today, we just completed section 2.
Yeah, the BDR.
Section 2. So it's our, do I get a high five? Yes. Do I get a high five?
That guy, little slice.
These boys know what's up.
That's right. There he is.
Oh, one more. High five? Yeah? Yes. He's looking for cookies. We're gonna make our way after this break to Van Horn, Texas, so we can start the Big Bend BDR-X tomorrow and head from Van Horn to Chenati Hot Springs, one of our favorite places. So that's exciting.
Yep. We are at the Pinion General Store. Double the runs. It was great. Got a little everything. Literally little of everything. Got tons of ice cream. Snacks, food, real food, hardware, and
Yeah.
3 cool little
Plumbing
kids
fitter.
running around.
Fittings. Definitely stop here if you're in the area.
They had fuel as well.
So no fuel in between Cloudcroft and here. So you got to make sure you're full when you leave Cloudcroft. Or
If there's gas in Cloud Club.
if you're heading the other direction, fill up here and then you'll make it to Cloudcroft.
After 81 miles on Section 2, our goal was to make it all the way to Van Horn so we could start the Big Bend BDR-X first thing the next morning. On paper, it didn't seem too bad, about 65 miles to Del City, then another hour and a half to Van Horn. What we didn't realize was that much of those 65 miles would be deep gravel, mile after mile of it. Safe to say, by the time we finally rolled into Van Horn, we were completely exhausted. But after a day like that, we were definitely much better gravel riders.